Here's an interesting one. The number of Americans renouncing their citizenship rose to a new record of more than 5,000 people last year. According to the latest government data, that's 20% increase from 2015. Meanwhile, U.S. citizenship was not listed even in the top 20 in the latest passport index conducted by Nomad Capitalist, a Texas-based organization that helps high-net-worth clients diversify their assets and save taxes. Top-ranked country is Sweden, followed by a bevy of other European Union nations, whereas the U.S. is only 35th. And now to discuss this in further depth, we're joined live by veteran traveler, entrepreneur, blogger who founded Nomad Capitalist, Andrew Henderson. Andrew, it's a pleasure to have you on the line, sir.
Spasibo, Nick. Great to be with you.
It's amazing to talk to you, Andrew, because, well, first of all, Nomad Capitalist issues the Passport Index. Is that the one that says which passport is the most valuable to anybody in the world?
Well, so there are a couple people who talk about where you can travel with your passport. We decided to put out the first ever index that actually studies the value of a passport and of citizenship. And so we looked at more than just travel. You know, everyone talks about travel, but I said, you know, if you're a U.S. citizen and you can go to as many countries as a Slovenian citizen, but the Slovenian citizen has greater tax freedom, has greater personal freedom, has so many other things, that one is better than the other. And so we said, let's take into account a number of factors, dual citizenship, freedoms, taxes, lots of things, and rank citizenships 1 to 199. And as you said, the U.S. came out at 35th.
Oh, yeah. It does not really look good for the United States. Can you give us a brief rundown of why that is exactly?
Well, I think that there are a couple different factors. One, the United States is one of two countries in the world, basically, that taxes citizens no matter where they live. I have spent 0 days in the United States in the last 3 years, and yet I, as a U.S.-born citizen, file a tax return every year. So that's a big, ding in the U.S. passport. Having that puts you at a severe disadvantage. The only other country that does that is Eritrea, which they call the North Korea of Africa. So the other thing is, I have so many friends all over the world, in Cambodia and so many places, where they're doing deals in places where everyone else gets to bribe people with impunity. Everyone else gets to go out and follow the local customs. As Americans, they can't do that, or else they get in big trouble. They have their assets frozen. They get in big trouble. So it's very difficult to be a business person overseas as an American, and that was the big factor.
I see. Well, you think that's the reason why most Americans are renouncing their citizenship? Is that because they don't want to pay taxes to the U.S. anymore?
I think you've got a lot of people right now. I mean, you've got two different sides of the coin in the world. You've got countries that are repelling wealth, and you've got countries that are welcoming wealth. And a lot of these higher tax Western countries are not so friendly to wealth. You've got a lot of people who are people like me, and even much, much bigger people with a lot more money, who are saying, I don't want to have to pay taxes. And I think really the issue is, obviously we help get people to illegally follow the IRS laws and get that number as low as possible. There is a way to do that, but at a certain point, you run enough businesses around the world, just the compliance alone can cost a fortune. I have a tax return. It looks like a small town phone book, and just to file the forms, whether if you pay or not, becomes draconian. Banks start not wanting to do business with you. I've had people whose business partners have wanted to get rid of them because they can't get things done having an American partner. So it's not about the tax. It's about people are being priced out of doing business as American citizens.
Out of curiosity, I've just recently watched a documentary by Abraham Russo where he was saying that there's no income tax officially in the United States. Is this true? Can you give us a detail?
Well, I'm not a tax advisor. I think anyone who talks about, not paying tax, I think, if someone could go out and try that and see how long it takes for the IRS to come and knock at your door. What we talk about, and I'm really the only guy who's put my name and face on this movement. This is a movement of people that is nameless, faceless guys in the shadows for many years, and it has a bad reputation, and we're bringing it into the 21st century because there are legal ways to go and do this kind of stuff and get second passports and reduce your tax bill. And I think anyone who's saying don't pay taxes, probably not a good idea. Find a legal way to pay zero and be in compliance, I think, is our message.
That's right. So I'd like to correct you, though, there. It's not only just you. It's you and Wesley Snipes.
Well, yeah, Wesley Snipes, he's, I guess, had some issues, and I say do it legally. That's what we do, 100% illegal.
It's more of, yeah, it was more of a jokey joke question.
Sure.
Okay, but if we move on back to important things, Trump has been in power for about 2 months soon. Do you think anything's going to change in the next 2, 3, 4 years? However long he's going to stay in office, 8 years maybe. Hey,
he says maybe 8, right? I mean, here's how I look at it. I mean, I think that there will be some changes. Here's my opinion. Everyone who comes to Washington, I mean, Obama was there 8 years ago and was going to change Washington and realized very quickly that you can't come in and change everything, that you're not the smartest guy in the room, that there is a culture there that is not big on change. And quite frankly, that's why I like smaller countries where things happen a lot more quickly. And that's better for investors. But will he change things? Certainly he'll change something. Will he change this citizenship taxation law that says citizens are harassed everywhere they go? I don't think so. And I think that, quite frankly, why is it in any politician's motivation to make that change? I'm not saying that that's what I want to happen. It'd be great to have it changed and follow what the rest of the world does. But quite frankly, I think that Washington has a very entrenched culture. It's in nobody's benefit to change the law. They're collecting money from U.S. people who live all over the world. And quite frankly, I think that the last thing a politician wants is to have an attack ad run against him that says, so-and-so voted for tax breaks for fat cat expatriates who hate America. It doesn't play well in West Virginia or in Arkansas or wherever else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can absolutely agree with you. Andrew, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for a very informative interview. It's been a pleasure. Speaking to Radio Sputnik Live, we were talking to a veteran traveler, entrepreneur.